Good evening, Maple Grove Crimson families, and welcome to the 20th commencement ceremony of Maple Grove Senior High School, where we honor the class of 2016. To begin this evening's ceremony, I ask our audience to please stand, remove your headgear, as we honor America with the presentation of our nation's flag by Miss Kelsey Frizzell, who has earned an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Please place your right hand over your heart and join us in the singing of our national anthem by senior choir students under the leadership of vocal director Ms. Beth Helsted. Please be seated. And while our senior choir students are making their way back to their seats, I'd love to recognize, along with Ms. Helsted, Mr. Matt Carone, Mr. Peter Buller, Mr. Paul Terry, and Ms. Denise Martineau, along with our outstanding Crimson Orchestra and Winds for the wonderful prelude, processional, and recessional music this evening. My name is Bart Becker, and I am honored to serve as the principal of Maple Grove Senior High School. Our mission at Osseo Area Schools is to inspire and prepare all students, each and every one of them, with the confidence, courage, and competence to achieve their dreams, contribute to community, and engage in a lifetime of learning. Joining me on stage this evening are system and building leaders. I'm going to read off their names and ask them to stand as I do so. Audience, I please request that you hold your applause until all names are read. School board members, Mr. Jim Burgett and Ms. Jessica Craig. Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kate McGuire. Assistant Superintendents, Mr. Aston Osseo, Ms. Kelly Parpart, and Dr. Kim Riesgraff. And building level leaders, Assistant Principals, Ms. Nada Grusing-Neitzel and Ms. Josie Johnson. Thank you all for your leadership. And while we have everyone's attention up front, I'd like to honor at this moment Dr. Kim Riesgraff, who is participating in her final commencement ceremony after 28 years of service to Osseo area schools as a teacher, site coordinator, director, and assistant superintendent. Dr. McGuire, it's been my personal privilege to work with you, and we sincerely wish you and your family all the very best in your future. And now, please join me in welcoming to the podium our superintendent, Dr. Kate McGuire.
Good evening. Today, I have the pleasure of seeing approximately 1,400 Osseo area schools seniors participate in commencement ceremonies that mark the transition from high school to the next stage in each student's life. It's an honor for me to be here and to see all of you and your proud families on this special day. As the state's 5th largest school district, Osseo Area Schools serves more than 20,000 students at 30 sites. Our families speak more than 80 different languages and dialects and come from every corner of the globe. We're a national award-winning school district with award-winning schools, and we continually seek to be even better. And today, seniors from all 3 of our high schools will receive diplomas right here in 3 separate ceremonies. We have many reasons to be proud, and today I can count about 1,400 of them, and many of you are sitting right in front of me now. I congratulate you and your families, and I send you my very best for a very bright future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McGuire. So we are here tonight to celebrate the final academic achievement of the class of 2016. Each graduate before us has their own unique story of that achievement. Stories of resolve, perseverance, trials and tribulations, and support from family, friends, and school staff members. The class of 2016 was escorted into tonight's ceremony by their foundation's teachers, who they have been with since their first day of high school back on Tuesday, September 3rd, 2013. I looked it up. Foundations teach at this time, would you please stand and remain standing? Go ahead and applause. In addition to our foundations teachers, I want to thank the following Maple Grove staff members for their invaluable effort on behalf of our graduates. Special Education Building Coordinator, Ms. Penny Newell. Activities Coordinator, Mr. Lambert Brown. Business Manager, Ms. Jennifer Eisenberg. Student Management Specialists, Ms. Jennifer Hinker, Mr. Jacob Morris, and Mr. Jonathan Richmond. And our counselors, Ms. Linda Byers, Ms. Sarah Goldman, Ms. Heather Hernandez, Mr. James Malakowski, and Mr. James Lundberg, and Mr. Matt Malakowski. There we go. Got it. And lastly, our Career Resource Specialist, Ms. Janelle Gillis. I do also want to thank the Secretary to the Principal, Ms. Kelly Rausch, and our registrars, Ms. Dorothy Schmidt and Ms. Penny Landry, for their hard work and preparation in tonight's ceremony. And finally, I would request all other educators in the audience tonight, pre-K through 12th grade, who have provided instructional or developmental support to our graduates at this time, please stand and be recognized. Thank you all for your leadership and service to our students. You may be seated. We have many graduates who have excelled in the academic arena, and they're recognized tonight in a couple of ways. Seniors wearing gold tassels on their caps are graduating tonight with honors, having achieved a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 or higher. In addition, we have 118 seniors who are wearing gold stoles, indicating they are graduating with high honors, having achieved a cumulative grade point average of 3.8 or higher. Assistant Principals Ms. Grusing-Neitzel and Ms. Johnson will now come to the podiums and read the names of our high honor students. And graduates, when your names are read, please stand, turn and face the audience, and remain standing until all names are read. In audience, I also ask that you hold your applause until all the names are read.
Students receiving high honors: Reem Ahmed,
Mitchell Anderson,
Carolyn Barlow,
Mackenzie Barta,
Caitlin Belden,
Emily Benkowski,
Bridget Bergstrom,
Samuel Bavacco,
Austin Blessy,
Abigail Booth,
Genevieve Brackup,
Aaron Bradenbach,
Lauren Bright,
Nathan Broberg,
Nicholas Bulisbach,
Matthew Bugoski,
Jenna Burgett,
Elizabeth Bernstein,
Molly Cavan,
Nathaniel Clem,
Timothy Clifford,
Gwendolyn Cooey,
James Collier,
Isaac Collins,
Nicholas Collins,
Megan Coughlin,
Alana Dobson,
Kate Delcato,
Grace Devick,
Abigail Dieter,
Evan Ditter,
Jake Ellingson,
Melissa Erickson,
Sarah Erickson,
Mackenzie Felton,
Hannah Fireisen,
Emma Fink,
Logan Flarity,
Kylie Flandrick,
Gail Fraser,
Connor Friedman,
Kelsey Frizzell,
Matthew Gamache,
Michaela Grimaldi,
Hennelie Hawes,
Jesse Heinen,
Samantha Henry,
Elizabeth Hergott,
Isabella Holney,
Abigail Johnson,
Clark Johnson,
Emily Colina Johnson,
Jared Johnson,
Chloe Jutner,
Alexander Kafer,
Noah Cates,
Andrew Keevy,
Nicholas Knutson,
Connor Kraft,
Lauren Krasnoff,
Kevin Crone,
Mira Kolda,
Trevor Kunze,
Caden Lefebvre,
Kathleen Leonard,
Kyle Litwinchuk,
Lindsay Lowry,
Michael Liu,
Gabriella Merrick,
Maxwell Marshall,
Emily Matheson,
Sarah Maxon,
Amanda McClure,
Claire McLean,
Jenna Miller,
Nolan Miller,
Michael Morgan Jr.,
Peyton Morris,
Riley Norman,
Jacob O'Hearn,
Taryn Olson,
Peyton Ordner,
Alexandra Orta,
Arpan Paul,
Saveri Pandey,
Justin Peterson,
Abby Rolfs,
Sarah Roltzel,
Alexandra Rudine,
Emma Salmon,
Connor Scheidler,
Lauren Scheidler,
Allison Schmidt,
Morgan Schock,
Jared Schweiss,
Emily Scott,
Jacob Sexton,
Jessica Siegel,
Taylor Sieve,
Evan Skaya,
Sarah Spangers,
Angel Sylvester,
Jesse Tavola,
Madeline Tharp,
Lauren Toe,
Eric Tillman,
Hannah Todd,
Decora Top,
Christine Tran,
Abiram Vidali,
Christopher Wagner,
Caitlin Walleris,
Haley Wasty,
Jacob Williams,
Nathan Yasaski,
Emma Yoho,
Elizabeth Zimmer.
Maxwell Zwack,
Students receiving a 4.0 or higher are Mackenzie Barta,
Caitlin Belden,
Emily Benkowski,
Bridget Bergstrom,
Genevieve Brackup,
Aaron Bradenbach,
Lauren Bright,
Matthew Bugoski,
Gwendolyn Cooey,
Nicholas Collins,
Evan Ditter,
Sarah Erickson,
Logan Flarity,
Michaela Grimaldi,
Jesse Heinen,
Samantha Henry,
Emily Colina Johnson,
Alexander Kafer,
Lauren Krasnoff,
Caden Lefebvre,
Kathleen Leonard,
Lindsay Lowry,
Michael Liu,
Emily Matheson,
Jacob O'Hearn,
Alexandra Orta,
Arpan Paul,
Abby Rolfs,
Alexandra Rudine,
Lauren Scheidler,
Morgan Schock,
Jared Schweiss,
Jacob Sexton,
Jessica Siegel,
Evan Skaya,
Eric Tillman,
Christine Tran,
Abiram Vidali,
Haley Wassi.
and Emma Yoho.
Okay, so everyone can be seated. And the 41 students who earned a weighted or unweighted 4.0, you 41, could you please stand right now? There we go. Stay standing, because of these 41, I want to give particular recognition to 12 students. These 12 have earned an unweighted, straight A 4.0 grade point average, which means they have never earned anything less than an A in their 4 years of high school, not even an A minus. Please, students, when I read your names, I want you to raise your hand and give a wave to your families to be recognized. Mackenzie Barta, Emily Benkowski, Aaron Breidenbach, Emily Colina Johnson, Caden Lefebvre, Kathleen Leonard, Abby Rolfs, Alexandra Rudin, Lauren Scheidler, Jessica Siegel, Evan Skaya, and Haley Wasty. Congratulations. Thank you for taking your seats. Now, Evan Skaya, stand back up, young man. Not done with you yet, buddy. Every year, roughly 1.5 million students across 22,000 high schools in this country enter the National Merit Scholarship Competition. To earn selection as a National Merit finalist, one must score among the top 1%. Moreover, to earn a National Merit Scholarship, one must score among the top 1/5 of that 1%. That's you. Congratulations, Skaya. You may be seated. So, in addition to the many academic achievements by the class of 2016, their leadership has been exemplified by their participation in activities, athletics, and fine arts. Each year, Maple Grove Senior High School students participate in many state competitions and programs, and I cannot describe what a joy it has been to watch these leaders give of themselves to causes greater than themselves, to compete, to represent our school and community with class, and to compete or perform with honor. Will all graduates from the entire class who have ever participated in an activity, and this could be a club, a group, a sport, or a fine arts program, please stand at this time and be recognized. Well done. Go ahead and be seated. So the 2015-16 school year was a year of firsts. To name a few, our girls hockey team advanced to the state championship game for the first time in school history. What a beautiful ride that was. Our Crimson Robotics team won the prestigious Chairman's Award at the regional competitions in Duluth. And for those of you who don't know, the Chairman's Award, that's the award given to the team that exhibits the values that every other team should strive to be like. It's the Be Like Them Award. And Isaac Collins. Stand up, Isaac Collins. This young man, for the first time in Maple Grove history, has become and earned finalist standing for both Minnesota's Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball. Well done. And of course, this was our first year as a comprehensive grades 9 through 12 high school. More than 50% of our students this year, all 1,200 9th and 10th graders, were brand new to the Crimson family. I freely admit I was more than a little nervous and worried about this transition, specifically for our incoming freshmen. How would they fit in? Would they be intimidated? Would they tip over from the weight of their backpacks? You never know. And then, in mid-August, at the height of my worry, I met our Link leaders. Link Crew is a positive leadership program comprised of 11th and 12th graders supervised by Ms. Janelle Gillis, Mr. Rob Bremseth, Mr. Mike House, and Mr. Rich Irvin. Could all Link leaders and their advisors please stand? These people right here. These leaders have worked at length to strengthen the positive school culture and climate at Maple Grove Senior High School. Every August, they lead the new student orientation, where they build positive relationships and prepare all incoming students for the first day of school. Link leaders are then assigned to every incoming foundations class as mentors and role models. By their endless positive energy and genuine leadership capacity, they conveyed two simple words to all incoming 9th and 10th graders, and that made all the difference. Those two words: follow me. Follow me. Our transition was a success, and I truly thank each member of the class of 2016. We could not have asked for a stronger group of leaders to welcome in this new era to Maple Grove Senior High School, and I specifically thank Link Crew and our advisors for your outstanding work and leadership. Thank you all. Fostering student leadership at Maple Grove Senior High School is a top priority. And there's two student leadership groups that are recognized every year at commencement. The first is our student government, the Crimson Cabinet. Now, the following seniors have served as the elected officers of Crimson Cabinet, and they have enjoyed the honors and the privileges with these positions, together with the challenges that leaders face, such as defending the change to allow for the possibility of sophomores to purchase trimester parking permits. Yes. Officers, please stand when I call your name. President Logan Flarity, Vice President Katie Delcato, Treasurer Morgan Shook, and Public Relations Lauren Krasnoff. At this time, I'd like to welcome the first of our two student speakers, Crimson Cabinet President, Mr. Logan Flarity. And while Logan's making his way to the stage, Crimson Cabinet and their advisor, Mr. Todd Martin, needs to be recognized for raising over $21,000 in the past 3 years for two charities, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the Pay It Forward Fund. Fundraising occurred during the week-long Crimson Survivor competitions each May. Let's give Crimson Cabinet and our senior Survivor contestants one more round of applause.
Good evening. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story about how my first year of high school went, and I hope that some of you find some similarities in how yours went as well. So I remember the weeks leading up to high school and being terrified of coming in to this huge building. I worried about where my classes would be, if I would know any of my friends in those classes, and of course, how are we going to navigate it, right? 3 stories, big difference. So naturally, I turned to the television to gain some advice from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Maybe a couple of you know that too. So I binge-watched the show for a week straight until I was certain I knew everything there was to know about surviving high school. But to my surprise, it wasn't entirely correct. For example, the cafeteria lunch didn't move when I poked it. The science teachers weren't out to destroy me, not even Orsted. And my parents were actually there to help and support me through the journey. Which reminds me, hi Mom, hi Dad. Okay, they told me I had to do that, just being honest. Okay, so though the show had its many errors in judgment, the one thing that it did get completely correct were the friendships that would be formed along the way. And friends are really all you need to survive high school. They can help you to pull through a rough physics problem set, or they can stay up with you until 2 a.m. helping you edit your commencement speech. The day before it's due, of course. They can console you when everything seems to be working against you and life is trying its best to drag you down. But most of all, they can make you smile, and they can make you laugh, and they can turn a mundane math class into your favorite class of the day. They make high school tolerable and leave you with memories that can be looked back upon with genuine joy. When I look out across Mariucci right now, you can probably tell I'm a little scared. My face is probably red. Yeah. But I'm comforted by all the faces that I see that I've been able to put names to these past 3 years, and all the smiles that are ensuring me that I'm not making a fool of myself, even though I knocked over that chair right there. Okay. So friendship is what's pulling me through this speech, and is also what pulled me through high school, and I'm sure that that's true for all of you out there as well. So now when we're all faced with that familiar dread of the unknown that we experienced heading into high school, but this time about where our lives will lead and what will happen next to us, I hope that, for me at least, that instead of turning to a TV screen looking at Ned Bigby for advice, we can turn to one another for the comfort that everything will be okay and that life goes on. Or at least we'll have the memory of a good or bad day at Maple Grove Senior High when we had a family, a Crimson family, to support us through. After all, we are all Crimson and thus share a common bond. We're taught to live each day the Crimson way in foundations, and yes, most of us sat there and snickered while the old video of kids being bullied with the words, "That's not the Crimson way," flashed across the screen. I know I was at least. But looking back, I feel like the videos and lessons and mantras that we were taught had a point to them, and I think I've seen it in all of you these past few weeks. I've seen the way each and every one of you looks intently and engages in the last class, trying to memorize the feeling and every last detail of what would be our last day of high school. And somehow we all made it here to graduation day. Whoops, sorry. And I think that we've left a little more mature, definitely older, and I'm proud to say we've become semi-adults. And we've also grown to support and cheer on one another in all endeavors, from our robotics team that Dr. Becker just mentioned, to our many sports teams and individuals that placed at state or sections with sports such as Nordic ski, alpine ski, wrestling, gymnastics, track, cross country. Our teams like girls and boys hockey, lacrosse, basketball, tennis, football, and dance team, and also our academic clubs like speech, debate, DECA, and math team that all did great this year. No matter your involvement in school at Maple Grove Senior High, you couldn't avoid the excellence that surrounded us. And I think that when we leave this, a little bit of that excellence will carry with us and help us to succeed in our futures. And So my last word of advice to you, class of 2016, is remember. Remember your mistakes, remember your triumphs, the lessons you've learned, the people who helped you to make it here, the smallest moments, and the memories. And finally, remember that this is a good school. Okay. That has prepared you for a great life. Thank you.
Thank you, Logan. This fall, he'll be attending a little-known educational institution in northern Indiana called the University of Notre Dame. Go Irish. The second student leadership group recognized this evening is the National Honor Society, which operates by its 4 pillars: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Members of National Honor Society are recognized tonight by the gold cords they're wearing on their left shoulders. The following seniors have served as the officers of National Honor Society. I ask you when I read your name to stand and remain standing. President Abiam Vidali, Vice President Sam Bavacco, Secretary Arpan Pal, Treasurer Joseph Graves, Historian Caitlin Belden, Webmaster Alex Kafer, Parliamentarian Michael Liu, Administration Decorah Top, Community Outreach Jenna Miller, Communications Ali Schmidt, Human Resources Haley Wasti, and Hospitality Molly Cavan. I would now like to welcome our second student speaker. Stay standing, I got you. Our second student speaker, National Honor Society President, Mr. Abiam Vidali. Come on, Abi. And while Abi's making his way to the podium, will all members of National Honor Society, you gotta walk down the ramp and over here. You got it, there we go. Will all members of National Honor Society please join your officers at this time, stand and be recognized. Thank you all for your leadership. You may be seated.
Today marks the day that the lives of hundreds of you will change. For all the siblings who will watch their brothers and sisters embark on a new chapter of their lives. For all the parents who will watch their sons and daughters accomplish an incredible feat. And of course, for all the graduates who will finally be able to access Snapchat from the weekday hours of 7:30 to 2. My name is Abiam Vidali, and I'd like to give a big hello and welcome to the family members, to our administration, to our teachers, to the illustrious Maple Grove class of 2016, and of course, to that one kid who used to budge me in the lunch line every day in elementary school. Yeah, I'm watching you. Casual interactions like these, in conjunction with strong connections with our classmates, are what truly define the Crimson family. And though they're a big part of our school today, I bring them up because just a few years ago, I was someone who didn't share these connections. As a shy, introverted, and lost kid entering my sophomore year, quite frankly, I struggled. In a school where it seemed like everybody knew what they wanted to do or who they wanted to be, I struggled to find my own voice, my own thoughts, and my own life. However, as time passed, slowly but surely, I began to open up. And by doing so, I recognized a school full of companions with similar shared struggles. Seeing my colleagues overcome their mental, emotional, or physical struggles inspired me to the point where I wanted to do the same. I wanted to give a voice to those who felt silent. I wanted to follow my dreams, and I wanted to empower those around me to follow theirs as well. And thanks to this wealth of educational opportunities, academic support, and cohesive community at Maple Grove Senior High, I have not only found my voice, but I also found my way, as I am proud to say that I will be attending Vanderbilt University next year to pursue a future in healthcare. But further, I am honored to say that I'm part of the Maple Grove class of 2016. This class stands out because of its unique enlightenment of character, scholarship, leadership, and service, all combining to leave an unforgettable legacy on the school which we call ours. In fact, I can't think of a better group of people who've exhibited the best qualities in our years of high school than us. I mean, we've been through it all, haven't we? But what distinguishes our Maple Grove seniors is that not only did we adjust to the changes we faced, but we aspired, achieved, and accomplished in their presence. For example, our class was the very first to begin and end high school with the new standards-based grading. I've never thought of where I'd see a group of people who value a 4 more than 100. In addition, we were the first group of student section which collectively spent just as much effort chanting at coaches to hit the dab as we did actually cheering on our teams. And finally, our class was the first ever to use the newly installed prom royalty voting to recreate the legendary, and I mean legendary, Coons and Norman hug. In contrast to all the changes we faced during our time at Maple Grove Senior High, many things remarkably stayed starkly similar. our musical theater department continued their excellence with a fantastic Les Mis musical. Our athletic teams remained dominant in their rich crimson and gold, highlighted by our football team making it to the state semifinals. And finally, we maintained our academic excellence, where we collectively helped our school become nationally silver ranked by the US News Report as one of the best high schools in the country. And everything was going the right way, and it was truly coming together. We were closing out our senior fall on the right note, and then bam! Disaster struck. Vikings kicker Blair Walsh missed the field goal. But again, in true Maple Grove fashion, what did we do? We persevered. We tackled the beasts of second trimester and third trimesters with even more success. With a spectacular center stage performance, spring sports closed out with just 2 days ago, our baseball team winning the section championship. And finally, with great college decisions and commitments, we finished the year strong, and here we are today, graduating. But let's remember that we aren't here today solely because of our academic or extracurricular success, but also because of our willingness to create success in the lives of others. From our class's Crimson Cabinet Survivor competitors, Tristan, Leroy, Richie, and Olivia, fundraising over $5,800 to combat leukemia, or the South African service trip, in which 11 senior students had a meaningful impact on children across the globe, them being Libby, Dana, Asavri, Michaela, Emma, Kylie, Claire, Chloe, Natalie, Riley, and Sam. I wanted to take the time to name each and every one of them because these selfless students took time away from their senior spring break to better the lives of others. So let's give them a round of applause. In addition, we today have members of our NHS program who volunteered in major service initiatives for the past 2 years, in addition to any and all of you who have gone out in the community and helped give back. We truly do salute you and encourage you to keep striving to continue your service. Because as we move on into our futures, it's important to remember that the true measure of being a good person is not only how much we can better our own lives, but rather how much we can better the lives of those around us. And with that, the MG class of 16 has truly left its legacy. Years from now, students will always remember the first senior class under Mr. Becker's new reign. Years from now, students will always remember the senior class that welcomed our first freshman class. Years from now, students will always remember the senior class that redefined the Crimson Way. So, seniors, for more than a decade, we've endured countless hours of homework. Although by homework, what I really mean is turning on Netflix and avoiding our homework instead of actually doing it. But as we go about our future pursuits, let's remember that ultimately how we strive to display character, leadership, scholarship, and service will determine how we shape the rest of our lives. And whether your near future involves going off to college, joining the American Armed Forces, traveling abroad, or aspiring towards any other academic, athletic, artistic, or even additional ambitions, anything, whatever your dreams may be, wherever life may take you, always remember your classmates, your contributions, and your community in the Maple Grove Senior High Crimson Class of 2016. Because once a Crimson, always a Crimson. Now I'm going to sit down and graduate with you all. But first, let me take a selfie. That's coming to a timeline near you. Shout out Jason Fazzo. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Abi. And best of luck next fall at Vanderbilt University. Go Commodores. Abigail Booth. Abigail Booth, stand up please and come on up here. A tremendous American, when asked about leadership, once said, "If you're a leader, you lead the way. And not just on the easy ones, you take the tough ones too." Tonight, it is my pleasure to present the Crimson Way Leadership Award. This award is earned by a senior who truly reflects the Crimson Way practices of motivation, gratitude, scholarship, and honor. And unique to this award is the nomination process by fellow seniors. And they believe this student reflects the Crimson Way both in our school and in our community. I'm going to share a few of the comments, Abby hasn't heard these, that other students have said about her in this nomination process. She is inclusive and respectful to each and every student. She dedicates herself to the betterment of the student body through her tireless efforts of service both in and out of school. She is always willing to go out on a limb and help anyone in any way she can, such as walking with those who need a friend and offering them a ray of her sunshiny personality. Abby is a humble individual who leads by example and goes above and beyond to make others feel welcome at our school. She is exuberant every day and exemplifies a strong work ethic along with a positive attitude. Her giving spirit is truly something to strive for. This is a leader right here. It is my great honor to present the 2016 Crimson Way Leadership Award to Miss Abigail Booth. So this plaque, now with Abby's name on it, is displayed in our front lobby, and it's visible to everyone who enters our school. And she'll also receive a $500 scholarship to Brigham Young University, where she'll be attending in the fall. Go Cougars! Okay, so we've nearly reached the point in our ceremony that I know our graduates have anxiously awaited, but first, there is one final group who must be recognized. It's been said that the significant are rarely famous, and the famous are rarely significant. Each of you here today have had significant members of your family, your church, or your community who have supported you in your life beyond the description of words. Graduates, at this time, please lock your eyes on those significant members of your families who are in the audience today and show them your gratitude by standing. Stand up and give them the ovation they deserve, please. Go ahead and be seated. So it is now time for the presentation of the class of 2016 for the awarding of diploma covers. Students' names will be called alphabetically according to their foundation teachers' last names. And audience, I would humbly request that you refrain from individual cheering as the names are read, because it is so important that each graduate's name is clearly heard so both they and their families can receive the respect and recognition that they have earned. I thank you very much for your cooperation in that. Assisting us award the diplomas will be our National Honor Society President-elect, Rajiv Dharnepragada, and Vice President-elect, Victoria Halverson. School board members Burgett and Craig, Superintendent McGuire, Assistant Superintendents Osseo, Parpart, and Riesgraf, I am proud to announce that the students before us have met all requirements of Maple Grove Senior High School, Osseo area schools, and the Minnesota Department of Education. At this time, would Ms. Jones and Mr. Bennett please move and begin to lead your foundations classes up to the base of the ramp for the awarding of the diploma covers for the class of 2016. Actual diplomas will be distributed to students at the high school starting at 5 a.m. following the senior all-night party. And if you're unable to attend the party, you can pick up the diploma at the high school next week with a photo ID. Mr. Bennett and Ms. Jones can approach the stage. At this time, our assistant principals, Ms. Grusing-Neitzel and Ms. Johnson, will read the names of our 2016 graduates.
From the Foundations class of Miss Veronica Jones, Jonathan William Beltran Zinton.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Rob Bennett, Thomas Demetrius Jameson,
Omar Akbar Khan,
Michael Brian Johnson,
Jonathan Michael Knight,
Connor Christian Kraft,
Lloyd Vladimir Probert,
Gabriella Maria Merrick,
Abby Rose Rolfs,
Jordan John Markison,
Abdul Rahman Abraham Saeed,
Emily Elizabeth Matheson,
Emma Grace Salmon,
Patrick John McCaffrey,
Emma Cameron Schifrel,
Amanda Rose McClure,
Mateus Tristan Javon Schmal,
Luke Anthony McGreevy,
Lasana Lasso Cisse,
Samuel Crawford McHenry,
Matthew James Smale,
Michael Anthony Medic,
Micah Simone Solomon,
Haley Elise Mahalchik,
Angel Ann Sylvester,
Garrett William Miller,
Jesse Alexander Tavola,
Thomas John Miller,
Alexander John Trask,
Erica Greer Mitchell Allen,
Riley John Vespa,
Emma Victoria Nelson,
Joshua Brandon Volstad,
Maria Kathleen Nelson,
Taylor Ann Werness,
Reed Daniel Alexu,
Brandon James Weethorn,
Thomas James Paulus,
Thomas John Wolden,
Leah Marie Nam Peterson,
Natalie Ann Robleski.
Celia Jane Phelan,
From the Foundations class of Mr. Scott Caston, Ahmad Hassan Abu Hadid.
from the Foundations class of Mr. John Brady, Charlie Stephen Adkins,
William Paul Ampey,
Reem Abdilmalik Ahmed,
Galina Nikolaevna Bobkin,
Mitchell Reed Anderson,
Andre Thomas Bakley,
Jordan James Baker,
Linat Bachman,
Marco Alexis Barrios,
Samuel Cole Benker,
Matthew Francis Berenger,
Emily Ann Benkowski,
Blake Allen Blundell,
Elizabeth Alma Besser,
Raylan Joy Bethune,
Madeline Grace Boren,
Joseph Clayton Bergstrand,
Nathan Andrew Broberg,
Yauna Vadimnova Churniak,
Hannah Jean Brooks,
Walker McKenna Clark,
Jordan Curtis Bundy,
Catherine Lynn Crow,
James Wesley Collier,
Logan Andrew Dick,
Peter John Cronin,
Aaron Michael Dudek,
Andrew James Dostal,
Michael Gregory Edison,
Alessandra Bell Doyle,
Ethan David Ungard,
Dylan Lee Earlywine,
Matthew J. Franklin,
Michaela Lynn Ellingson,
Matthew Harrison Gamache,
Adam W. Cole Erickson,
Joseph Edward Graves,
Kate Marie Fairley,
from the Foundations class of Mr. Rob Bremseth, Carolyn Joy Barlow,
Aaron Francis Flom.
Mackenzie Brenna Barta,
From the Foundations class of Mr. Thomas Laughlin, Alexander Gerald Mall Kafer,
Samuel John Bevico,
Ryan Paul Cates,
Isaac Michael Collins,
Abby Elizabeth Peterson,
Megan Therese Coughlin.
Nicholas Odin Rem.
Elena Elizabeth Dabson.
Caitlin Diane Rumley.
Kate Cecilia Delcato.
Jacob Samuel Saderbach.
Peter James Doyle.
Christina Rose Shoquist.
Hannah Lynn Fireisen.
Nicholas Ellsworth Stensley.
Logan Mark Flarity.
Taylor Brent Tyson.
Kylie Joe Flandrick.
Christine Tweedy Tran.
Gail Nicole Fraser.
Abiram Venkata Vidali.
Kelsey Monet Frizzell.
Valerie Anastasia Vineker.
Joseph Reed Geisen.
Samuel Saxhog Walden.
Michaela Ann Grimaldi.
Elizabeth Jean Wangan.
Henley Hawes.
Emma Grace Wangan.
Samuel Jesse Huffman.
Graydon Michael Wheeler.
Justin Liao.
Jacob Troy Wilprecht.
Kyle Joseph Litwinchuk.
Julia Marie Ragg.
Jared Noah Martinson.
Natalie Marie Young.
Jenna Riley Miller.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Eric Malm. Kyle Eric Krona.
Riley Ann Norman.
Brandon Matthew Leishman.
Taryn Kelly Olson.
Tyler James Robert Lindquist.
Kelvin Kofi Owusu.
Tehran Jamar Pickford Jr.
Matthew Michael Pider.
Carl John Schulte.
Taylor Elizabeth Potvin.
Paige Marie Schwartzrock.
Samuel Patrick Ross.
Benjamin Drake Shapley.
Connor Dean Scheidler.
Jessica Elizabeth Siegel.
Jared Michael Schweiss.
Tyler Deal Smith.
Evan Joseph Skaya.
Amber Ruth Ella Spate.
Hannah Elizabeth Todd.
Abigail Amy Spichke.
Joseph Paul Wallach.
Alexandra Elizabeth Spichke.
Luke Paul Zibley.
Blake Hunter Tyson.
Stephanie Lucia Zukowski.
Emmanuel Bowley Toa.
Maxwell Donald Zwack.
Alexander Jose Vota.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Ricardo Cervantes. Sierra Nicole Jones.
Rachel Jean Wallach.
Tiana Christine Kombumi.
Haley Nicole Wasty.
Jasper Troy Paler.
Joshua Paul Wenty.
Ryan Robert Raskub.
Danielle Kathleen Williams.
Dakaria Denise Rogers.
Jacob Thomas Williams.
Riley Marie Schatz.
Anthony John Ronsky.
Brett Austin Scholze.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Chad Manders. Grant Davis Hemsey.
Haley Marie Schwen.
Nicholas Wade Huber.
Ryan Patrick Shea.
Connor Thomas Lovedahl.
Taylor Ann Sieve.
Robert Antonio Marek.
Matthew John Soller.
Maxwell Bruce Marshall.
Shelby Ray St. Martin.
Carly Marie Martinson.
Madeline Rose Tharp.
Nolan Andrew Miller.
Eric Michael Tillman.
Riley Kate Mills.
Decora Justine Top.
Olivia Francis Moore.
Noah Daniel Almanic.
Ryan Matthew Morris.
Camille Ryan Verstrate.
Jordan Ray Moyer.
Christopher Alexander Wagner.
Jonathan Andrew Nelson.
Letitia Hawa Worrell.
Casey Renee Nelson.
Nathan Robert Yasaski.
William Wynn.
Emma Lee Yoho.
Gina Lynn Norton.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Matt Detloff, Andrew John Asquith.
Alyssa Osborne.
Ashton Reed Balder.
Zachary James Osmera.
Carly Josephine Baralato.
Arpan Pell.
Bridget Carey Bergstrom.
Justin William Peterson.
Cameron Dwayne Bess Dorothy.
Casey Dwayne Flipson.
Allison Lee Bird.
Trang Suan Pham.
Genevieve Colleen Brackup.
From the Foundations class of Miss Marty Medley. Jordan Fredericks Albers.
Nathaniel Frederick Bruce.
Danielle Enrique Aviles.
Elizabeth Ann Bernstein.
Hannah Ruth Byer.
Lucas Hugh Burrington.
Allison Marie Barrent.
Sequarius Rovan Clay.
Emily Christine Bjorky.
Nathaniel William Clem.
Aaron Thomas Bradenbach.
Cameron James Conklin.
Lauren Elizabeth Bright.
Connor James Deers.
Nicholas Cosmine Bulisbach.
Jacob Grant Ellert.
Trayvon Jamal Kane.
Melissa Ray Erickson.
Brooke Alexandra Clausen.
Emma Fink.
Timothy John Clifford.
Thomas Allen Firestone.
Ariana Renee Diaz.
Samuel Mark Franklin.
Evan Nicholas Ditter.
From the Foundations class of Miss Samantha Frank. Zachary William Frisvold.
Cameron Charles Dumbold.
Zachary Robert Grams.
Allison Christiana Dirtle.
Samantha Janice Harf.
Jake Patrick Ellingson.
Mason Laurel House.
Sarah Margaret Erickson.
Hannah Jean Hawkinson.
Derek Hunter Fish.
Emily Ann Hope.
Shane Peter France.
Luke William Hovland.
Thomas Jordan Holler.
James Richard Jagger.
John Robert Heater.
Brianna Jamie Johnson.
Caitlin Elizabeth Matheson.
Jared Samuel Johnson.
From the Foundations class of Miss Lene Meyer. Mira Luclune Calda.
Melissa Alexandra Johnson.
Jacqueline Numi Lay.
Noah Andrew Cates.
Isabel Michelle Plunkett.
Joseph Ward Kamick.
Asia Bono Raza.
Matthew Taylor Cobberdahl.
Tyler James Rosen.
Joshua Alexander Kovalchuk.
Madison Lee Rosenberg.
Lauren Ray Krasnoff.
Garrett Robert Rudin.
Rory Joseph Larson.
Shannon Nicole Sandbakken.
Olivia Margaret Lavin.
Joseph Daniel Schrader.
Jonathan Lee.
Jacob James Sexton.
Connor Reed Lehman.
Alexis Elizabeth Shaw.
Paige Louise Lieberherr.
Kyle Robert Smith.
Eric Thomas Lindquist.
Sarah Katrina Spangers.
From the Foundations class of Mr. Ryan Gow. Emmanuel Gabore.
Daniel Tafik.
Brady Joseph Goodman.
Sophia Kuzue Thompson.
Travis David Groff.
Jenna Margaret Throne.
John Leroy Harbinson.
Brady Kyle Voles.
Clara Kathleen Haugo.
Caitlin Marie Walleris.
Jesse Singh Heinen.
Austin Thomas Weber.
Sairichi Hang.
Abigail Marie Wilcox.
Elizabeth Jane Hergoat.
Adam Stephen Wilhelmy.
Dylan Conrad Hare.
Parker Allen Wright.
Samantha Dawn Hooper.
Kaylee Jo Yates.
Jacob Andrew Jensen.
From the Foundation's class of Miss Jen Reevy. Coyote Afalami Awashika.
Abigail Jean Johnson.
Madison Rose Ayers.
Haley Claire Johnson.
Samuel Christian Becker.
Peter Jeffrey Johnston.
Caitlin Christine Belden.
Lauren Eileen Kaufman.
Emma Ann Barrett.
Alexander Paul King.
Abigail McKenna Booth.
Emily Elizabeth Knoll.
Jack Robert Bristol.
Nicholas Alexander Knutson.
Matthew Cooper Bugoski.
Luke James Kolstead.
Michaela Ruth Carney.
Kevin Daniel Crone.
Milena Cornejo.
Lucas William Kayastia.
Connor Jeffrey Crary.
Edward Martin Lee.
Abigail Alice Dieter.
Dana Marie Leitonen.
Nathan David Duenhager.
From the Foundation's class of Miss Janelle Gillis. Paige Nicole Aspinwall.
Jacqueline Ann Ellert.
Kylie Catherine Binstock.
David William English.
Elizabeth Ann Breimeyer.
Erica Ann Half.
Tristan Armand Brown.
Isabella May Halney.
Elizabeth Noel Campbell.
Emily Brooke Johnson.
Jack Joseph Cassidy.
From the Foundation's class of Mr. Jeff Rush. Grant Noble Pooley.
Jamie Jeanette Castingway.
Jordan Marie Qualley.
Molly Elizabeth Cavan.
Brittany Nicole Robb.
Gwendolyn Noel Cooey.
Chase Allen Rogstad.
Nicholas John Collins.
Hannah Corinne Sack.
Grace Erin Devick.
Kristen Marie Schlicht.
Paige Marie Evan.
Austin Cole Scott.
Mackenzie Gillespie Felton.
Ashley Melissa Seward.
Connor Andrew Friedman.
William Kenneth Snow.
Candace Justine Gerloff.
Jacob Nicholas Strike.
Samantha Daisy Olivia Henry.
Lauren Rain Thone.
Nicholas John Hughes.
Zachary Stephen Tracy.
Emily Colina Johnson.
Rebecca Thuy Tran.
Chloe Elise Jutner.
Chao Fang Marcus Vang.
Sujit Singh Kohli.
Alec Lewis Wilson.
Trevor Anthony Coons.
Carter James Wise.
Leroy Javasi Kwate.
From the Foundation's class of Miss Barb Spencer Morellas. Bailey Ashlyn Geib.
Julia Brooke Levine.
Riley Stephen Gilbertson.
Michael Liu.
Nathan Edward Gray.
Piper Helena Mandel.
Jarrett Thomas Hansen.
Claire Nicole McLean.
Dina Hasich.
Eric Alexander Nebel.
Cutler Jeffrey Hedke.
Lydia Esther Nebo.
Jack Ronald Herbis.
Reed Alexander Nico.
Haley Marie Herdine.
Jacob Donald O'Hearn.
Jalay Don Haft.
Peyton J. Ordner.
Lauren Mary Humphrey.
Samantha Jo Redding.
Anna Lee Jennings.
William Robert Rule.
Clark Siobhan Johnson.
Milo Moses Rice.
Samuel Lee Johnson.
Jaden Dane Roll.
Ashley Marie Jordet.
Sarah Catherine Laratzel.
Brooke Ann Klein.
Alexandra Mary Rudine.
Ryan Joseph Knight.
Lauren Nicole Scheidler.
Austin Jonathan Crower.
Allison Eileen Schmidt.
Hudson Palmer Kraus.
Morgan Elizabeth Schock.
Nicole Jaylene Cutter.
Emily Marie Scott.
Austin Lee Latvala.
Daniel Robert Simonson.
Soan Sydney Lee.
Asavri Sundeep Tembe.
Andrew James Lewis.
Carly Catherine Thang.
Jordan Richard Lynn.
Aditi Tonstal.
Tyler John Little.
Elizabeth Jean Zimmer.
From the Foundations class of Miss Jen Weinsrell. Revan Lopez Ackward.
From the Foundations class of Miss Pam Hennon. Aaron Fisk.
Jacob Gordon Anderson.
Joshua Riley Goiby.
Eric Anthony Baker.
Devin Thomas Graham.
Blaze Andrew Benford.
Daniel Ryan Guthrie.
Emily Marie Benson.
Madeline Rose Hankins.
Madison Lee Bees.
Taylor Ann Hill.
Austin Jeffrey Blessy.
Danielle Elizabeth Hoppy.
Erica Ann Bortnam.
Brandon Michael Hires.
Tyrone Anthony Broska II.
Allison Suzanne Jack.
Jack Tyler Bunnell.
Parker Allen Johnson.
Jenna Christine Burgett.
Alyssa Joe Johnson.
Jacob David Chenard.
Mackenzie Alicia Johnson.
Aaron Patrick Deacock.
Andrew August Keevy.
Edwina Easter Dorber.
Tyler Anthony Knudsen.
Austin Matthew Eberly.
Noah Thomas Copen.
Rachel Ray Ellingson.
Abby Lynn Kowalski.
Matthew William Erickson.
Matthew Victor Kerpiers.
Roberto Ivan Flores Rodriguez.
Caden Johnson Lefebvre.
Tyler Jacob Fortney.
Kathleen Danielle Leonard.
Isabella Noel Goodrow. From the Foundations class of Mr. John Worm. Lindsay Rebecca Lowry. Addison Lee Moss. Matthew Gerard Marsden. Garrett Michael Maupin. Sarah Brett Maxon. Andrew Clarence McSherry Schmidt. Gavin Kenneth Miller. Emily Irene Monsrode. Michael John Morgan, Jr. Peyton Melissa Morris. Logan Warner Newell. Corina K. Knorr. Sergio Abraham Nunez Avila. Beatrice Chinyenwa Oge. Brian Carl Olsted. Alexandra Elise Orta. Savari Shashank Pandey. Alexander Richard Pavick. Mary Elizabeth Peterson. And Ellen Michelle Phillips.
All right. Give me just 1 second here. A lot of congratulations, a lot of handshakes. Sorry for those that I messed up. Okay. Graduates, the next phase of your life is right back up that tunnel and outside the doors to this arena. And while your futures will undoubtedly lead you in separate directions, know that you will forever be members of the Crimson family. And you can always take pride in saying, we are Crimson. It's a part of your history. And now you get to write the next chapters. So continue to live each day the Crimson way, with a motivation to excel in all that you do, with a heart filled with gratitude, with a pursuit of scholarship, and the reverence of honor. And rest assured, your futures will have great success, along with great challenge. No, it will not be easy. You will face setbacks, loss, even failure. And in the face of adversity, you will be tempted to drop your shield and run. And so remember this. Graduates, remember this. Each one of you has a story. It's yours. And you write your own history, nobody else. So take courage. Be resilient and persevere. Lead the way. And don't you ever, ever drop your shield. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of every one of you, and I love you. And I'm going to miss you. And now, graduates, please stand. Move your tassel from the right side to the left and turn to be recognized. It is with great pride that Maple Grove Senior High School presents the class of 2016.